Development complexity is the biggest issue. Complex applications more and more, larger and larger. Break up a single complex system into multiple small independent and manageable services, freeing your team up to work on the things that matter. My name is Benjamin Schwendner and I'm the lead product architect with the Axinom Mosaic team. Currently, most of my time is invested in figuring out and implementing features from Axinom Mosaic, as well as deciding and designing the overall architecture of the framework. I think development complexity is the biggest issue that many front-end applications face today. Back in the day, just had a simple web page without many moving parts, whereas today you usually have complex applications requiring various backend services to fulfill more and more of use cases while still providing a great experience for the end user and keeping things as intuitive as possible. There is a continuous flow of data and content, multiple stakeholders accessing the system, all carrying out numerous simultaneous workflows, especially when it comes to content delivery platforms. This is becoming a challenge to manage as digital platforms grow larger and larger. Micro-frontends is an approach very similar to microservices in the backend, which goal is to break up a single complex system into multiple small independent and manageable services. Micro-frontends are bringing these ideas over to the front end and designing the architecture of your front-end application in a way that the growing complexity on the front-end side is managed by breaking the otherwise big and scary monolithic front-end application into smaller chunks that can be developed and deployed individually. On runtime, the various micro-frontends will be loaded together into a single portal to still offer the excellent user experience that an end user would expect. As I mentioned, the benefits of splitting the application are very similar to the benefits of having microservices. Simpler and decoupled code bases, the ability of having autonomous teams for each micro-frontend, potentially even including the required backend services for that particular domain, and independent deployment of single pieces of your application. Since each micro-frontend is developed in a decoupled and isolated way, they can also be released independently from each other. So if your team working on the movie metadata management process created a new feature, they could autonomously decide when the latest version of that movie metadata management, including that feature, goes live. It improves the overall delivery speed, since you don't need to stabilize the whole application for each release, but you can focus on the single micro-frontend that you're going to release. Since the orchestration of the micro-frontend is not happening during build time, but only on runtime, you can easily do things like A/B testing, where you can ship certain users one version of your micro-frontend and another version to the others. Micro-frontends do not change the way how you would integrate third-party systems. In the end, you're still writing JavaScript code that runs on the browser, in Axinom Mosaic case using React. And it's up to the developer to use the well-known ways of interacting with services in a front-end application. There's no real change on that side compared to a traditional monolith application. However, there's now an additional level of integration that needs to be considered. And it's the integration of pieces delivered from other micro-frontends. Even though micro-frontends are developed isolated and independent, there can still be dependencies between them. And these kind of dependencies now need to be defined more explicitly, rather than having the option for a developer to use whatever is present anywhere in the monolithic application. And creating a lot of implicit dependencies inside the code base by doing that. The idea of micro-frontends is to encourage you to think more thoroughly about the interfaces the micro-frontend has with another one. So compared to a monolith where things are interdependent and blocks are hard to change without accidentally affecting other application areas, one of the key benefits of micro-frontends is that it's easy to change the internals of a micro-frontend later or even replace it altogether. In Axinom Mosaic, the management interface that content editors use to manage the content is developed entirely using micro-frontends. You can have one team of experts carrying and developing the entity metadata editing workflows, and this team does not need to understand how, let's say, subscription models and their editing workflows would work, because another team of domain experts on that topic will handle this one. Both can individually develop their frontends, agree on potential interfaces between each other, and separately release their results, as well as potential bug fixes and enhancements. Also, when using Axinom Mosaic as framework of your choice, you will get access to our managed services micro-frontends, which can take over real concerns like access management or image management, for example, and free your team up to work on the things that matter.